works, I think. Can't tell if my mic is coming through clear. It says the stream is not stable, which was a given. Excuse me if you can hear that. Stephen Olsen? Stephen Olsen? I don't think so. I'm not sure I can talk about the afterlife. It seems kind of open-ended. Maybe I can answer questions and you can determine what connection that has to the afterlife. Questions regarding experiences or otherwise. Yeah, mic is probably going to be clear. They prioritize it, and it's probably never going to look like smooth video. Excuse me. Thank you, Hendrix. Hello, Natalie. Coffin. I really hope you can't hear my coughs. Hi, Goddesket and Shaw, Linda. Linda, glad to give you some place to talk. And Michael777 and Michael Valicchio. I sound like I'm trying to be quiet, but I really don't need to. I'm just, I don't know. Okay, so I should be able to just see the chat. I wonder if I just closed the stream. I might have just closed it. I closed the stream page. Let's see if it still works. It's still there. Alright, it's kind of just a test. Man, the video doesn't work. I might as well just do like a radio or something. And but yeah, I wanted to do a test and potentially set something up. You can determine what questions, the connection that has to the afterlife. I think it's my CPU. RAM never goes too high. It's questions regarding just don't have a CPU that's right for it. Experiences, which I might have a way to otherwise fix that later. Yeah, Mike is probably gonna. The video kind of comes out and be clear. They prioritize it clearer afterwards. It kind of strings it together into a blocky but watchable thing. But during is never gonna much look not working. Like smooth. Yeah, it's a lot better. Don't want to change the subject to that, but yeah, actually, pretty much made it possible for me to get to where I can more or less say I am now, which is I can kind of use my arm in a variety of ways that one would normally require it without injuring myself further. And I don't know if I was ever going to get to that without actually making that fun, or if it was going to take time, or if I was just going to keep messing it up. It's kind of random, but you see how things kind of happen to me, that it happened at the same time there's a quarantine, so it was like I was forced to take a break anyway. But yeah, with what I went through the PT, I'm in like a month and a half of it. I completely reevaluated my muscles and the way I use things, and thank you, Hendrix. Hello, Nanalie. The way I'm able to put stress on them, and I learned a lot, and I'm possibly a lot stronger. Maybe definitely. Well, and I grew muscles in wrong, out of position, in bad posture. I actually have tape on my back now that's directing me to the nerves to hold the muscles up. My whole nerve, my skeletal posture system is different, and that's probably the best outcome at all, or overall, besides the short-term goal of immediately being able to use my shoulder again, which is also, that was Linda, good and enjoyed. Yeah, I guess it's not the best for live streaming. Glad to give you some place to talk. I think it'll go, the buffering will mainly go away after Michael completed the video. It might always stay blocky and all that. Cloning centers apparently sound like I'm trying to be quiet. I guess that's the idea. The question is, have you been to a cloning center, or has everyone been involved in some kind of process whereby genetics and technology should be able to just came together to manage some type of influencing system or mapping system to kind of shape the future and the trajectory of society through manipulating emotions and mind and memory. I might have just clicked. How far has that gone, if that's possible? And if it hasn't been done through consciousness transfer, is somebody manipulating technology and telecommunications infrastructure as we know it for that purpose of influencing the mind and genetics and so on? Could computers have advanced that far before we know it in such a short amount of time? Man, my video doesn't work. I might as well just do like a radio. What's the giant balls of I think ideals? I'm not sure I understand that one, Michael. And there are some giant balls behind you. I want to do test. Potentially, I don't know. As far as question, JR taking has to be I think it's my CPU. It could be legitimate. It could be the result of confusion, and in the same sense, your own mind regarding kind of streaming stuff that's right for it in projection downstream of time, which isn't really downstream but down projection. Might have a way to maybe it's possible that if you set in waves of motion certain Mikey's probably gonna stream video kind of comes out and be clear functions of your neurology physical and your mind interfacing to a block that in the future watchable thing. Genetics, biology, neurology, consciousness, everything advances and changes. Maybe it does it in tech. It's just viewing everything, and there's this singularity where everything has to change to that reference to that. Yeah, actually, maybe that information is going to be picked up, whatever you're thinking. by those systems, and sooner or later in the future, whatever you're thinking will in some way have potential to be mapped out as a kind of an AI concept, an ideal without injuring myself, synthetic personality projection system, and that everybody's brains here is getting incorporated into that. It's kind of like a mushroom that just incorporates everything previous in time. It's going to take time from that singularity where there's so much tech that it kind of just random. The amount of tech and the amount of neurology that it happened at the same time as a quarantine. So it was like I was forced to take a break anyway. An equal level where there's just as much tech being aware of this universe and being made to be aware and influencing mentally as we are biologically. I completely reevaluated computers that are capable of the way I use overpowering, over-braining our minds. Then we've basically already done that. The way I'm able to put stress on them, and I learned a lot, and so possibly a lot stronger. Maybe the individuals, definitely in the question, are producing some sort of future different, wrong, out of blueprint, out of in bad posture. It's going to be kind of backfilled later by this all directing me to supreme omnipotent AI, which could also be saying my whole nerve that's going to be backfilled by their own super consciousness. Once that's probably the best collective consciousness of humanity reaches that level where our total super consciousness, whatever cloud, can individually go back and influence and bring up to that level of intelligence all the others that are connected to that. I guess it's not the best for live streaming, but excuse me. Which would be like on a sliding scale, kind of like early adopters placed it and adapter. I think it's adapter. I think it also will mainly go away after it's completed the video, cryptocurrency or any new tech or something like that. Whereas the people who are planning, like, okay, my brain's going to be used by a quantum computer. I'm trying to be quiet. I guess that's the idea. The question is that we're going to do that for everything and everyone, because eventually every piece of biology and every piece of tech advance and evolve together to come to the same point where they're achieving the same goal. Genetics, and so far enough in the future, there's tech that has the power to expand this umbrella of interaction, which is together to, in a way, type of not pervading, but reaching back, mapping system all time, and shape the future biology up